So when you're starting off your cut with one of our Forney Industries plasma cutters, these are contact machines, which means the copper piece on the end of our cutting torch needs to be in contact with your workpiece to complete your full electrical circuit. And with that, you also do need to have a good ground. If your electricity is having trouble getting through and completing your circuit, you're not going to have a good cut, and you might not have a cut at all. As far as starting your cut goes, you want to keep your arc off of your material. Start the arc. You're going to have a pilot arc going for 3 to 5 seconds, and then you're going to come into contact with the material, which initiates your cutting arc. You're going to have two basic types of cutting. You're going to have cuts that start from the edge of a piece of material. Those are easy enough. Hold them off the edge, bring it into contact, and then bring your cutting torch onto your material. You're also going to have a different type of cutting, which is known as a piercing cut. That's where your cut has to be in the center of material. You don't have an edge to start from. With that, you're going to start your pilot arc a few inches above your material and then bring it down into the material so it pierces right through. If you start your arc with your torch setting directly on top of your material, it's actually going to blow some of that work material back into your consumables, and you're going to have very, very short consumable life as well as a poor cut start. When you get to cutting, a very, very easy way to tell whether or not you are cutting at the right speed is looking at the angle that your sparks are coming out of your material. If you are cutting at the correct speed, your sparks are going to be coming directly out the bottom of your work material. If you cut a little bit too fast, your sparks are going to start coming out of it at an angle. So when you see those sparks come out at an angle to you, all you got to do is slow down and let your cut catch up to you. When you are cutting a piece of very thick material, the top of the material cuts quite a bit faster than the bottom of the material. So what can be done is you can angle your torch in the direction of your cut to give it a little bit of force going forward, and that should give you a little bit better cut going through your material that's a little bit thick for this machine. Another thing that a lot of people overlook when it comes to their plasma cutters is you can actually bevel your material with a plasma arc, and it's as easy as cutting with your machine at an angle, and you give that angle to your torch, and it's going to give you a nice bevel cut on your material. One thing you do have to watch out for is if you're at the top end of this machine's cut capacity and you put your torch at that angle, it actually adds length to your cut. It adds some width to it. So if you're at that top end of our spectrum with that sever cut capacity, you won't be able to bevel with this machine. But beveling is a great way to do multi-pass welding, especially with some thick material, something that some of the smaller machines can't do in a single pass. If you give it a bevel with your plasma cutter ahead of time, you're going to have a lot better time getting fusion into that material.